You look at the world around you and topical things, and something like Marvin Gaye. What was that? Is that part of your musical tradition, so to say, to have a? I don't want to say message, but to have some content to what you're saying.
Absolutely, because I always loved that part of their music. I didn't know why, but I get it now. I understand why it felt the way that it did because I just agreed with it. Yes, it can be better. And being that you have a gift, then you should offer, what you consider to be a better option.
Sure.
So I always just felt that connection to their music. Even today, now the song from what is it? Love is in need of love today, from Songs in the Key of Life. It's relevant right now. Sure. And so at the time I was still a bit young to really understand it, but now I totally get it now, why he would write such a lyric or record such a song.
So in that sense, are you also looking for timeless music in a way?
I'm looking for music that will speak to humanity across the ages, exactly. That the human experience can always, or that my music can always connect to the human experience.
Right.
Yeah.
And well, especially these days, not just in your country, but all the world over, it is quite tumultuous. So, is it a struggle to keep that hope going? To keep?
No, it's not a struggle at all for me.
Okay.
Because what's the alternative?
Fair enough. No, but so in a sense, does it mean then that you have a lot of inspiration because there's so much going on, or?
Well, for me, it's about always starting from within.
Okay.
I'm hopeful about the betterment of my own humanity, and I know if I can grow as a person, as a human being, and mature, then everyone can. And as I said before, that's why I offer, whatever heals me, I offer that to everyone else.
What is one of the best reactions you've had to your music, in that sense?
I've had so many, but the simple response would be that someone told me that your music changed my life. And I can't think of a better way, to answer that, for someone to internalize, something that you were using to sort your own life out.
Right.
They say, wow, well, just by listening to your record, it inspired me to rethink my life journey. And I think that's the work, That's what it's all about.
So if we move forward to My Love Divine Degree, when did the process start up again?
Well, as I said, I'm always writing. So it started probably maybe 3.5, 4 years ago.
Okay.
Because a lot of the things we're dealing with right now, we were dealing with then 4 or 5 years ago.
Sure.
So I just began to write wherever I was at the time, and I would just take it day by day. For me, that's really what it's about, just listening on a daily basis and trying to be obedient, if you will, to the moment, and offer whatever I can to the moment, to be as tapped in, as tuned in as possible to what's really happening, in humanity.
Do you remember then the moment when you tapped in for I Stay Ready? That's what kind of mood you were in?
Yeah, I Stay Ready came to me, just the guitar riff alone came to me one night about 3 or 4 in the morning. And it was one of those songs, I don't know if you've heard about the process of different artists, like the song came so fast they don't know where, how it happened. Well, I Stay Ready was one of those songs. It was like early in the AM, and I began to play the guitar riff. And after that, I went straight to the drums, and the rhythm track was there. And the following day, I came back for a playback listen, and it still felt the same way from the night before. So the phrase just came, Excuse me, as most songs, I don't really ever plan the content or what the focus is going to be. just try to let the song, as Quincy Jones said many years ago, let the song tell you what to do.
Right.
And so that's what it was for me. So yeah, I Stay Ready just became, you know, just once again divine inspiration.
In that sense, then, do you discover kind of meanings or interpretations in it afterwards, or maybe now?
That's the cool thing about it, you know, that even though you might be the vessel and the author of it, you still get a chance to find out, you know, the meaning or the application of it in your own life and how it will sit in the climate, you know, of what's going on.
So where did Right On, if you look back now, where did it or I Stay Ready, sorry, how did it fit in that time of your life?
It was perfect because I was in a state of just constant creativity, you know, outside of music, you know, photography,
right,
art, even fashion. That's why that's why the lyric wearing new jackets we made ourselves, because I was having fun just experimenting with you know, my denim jacket, just, you know, creating a piece of art with a jacket, you know. So once again, just letting the work truly reflect what's going on, you know, and where my heart is at that moment in time.
And you mentioned how well, music is one outlet now. Obviously, photography and, like, say, fashion. Is it important for you to have these multiple outlets, not just to focus on music solely, but to have?
For me, it is. You know, once again, because we're unlimited in terms of what we're able to create. The human mind is amazing. So, for me now, I'm having a lot of fun just exploring, you know, what's possible in other areas. You know, photography it was a natural next step. I really enjoy it. You know, I've never been a student of it, but I've always appreciated, you know, other people's work, you know, great images and imagery. And actually, my interest really peaked, you know, through the medium of Instagram, you know. I liked what I was capturing with that, and so I invested in the camera and just started really shooting, you know. And so my aim is to have my work in like boutique hotels or hotels that are artist friendly.
What did you find in photography that you maybe could not find in music?
Well, that's the thing. I can always find whatever I need in music.
Okay.
It wasn't a matter of trying to, you know, find the missing link. Really, it was just an extension or a continuation of it. You know, because music it's about tone, energy, and vibration, and photography. And a photo can be the same thing.
And well, what you say is quite interesting because, well, you've with Instagram, and you've embraced kind of the modern technology, and so is that is your approach then the same to the way you like to record music now? Because obviously your Headphone Masterpiece was quite lo-fi. So have you embraced now kind of the modern possibilities?
What was the last part of the question?
Have you embraced the modern technology and
I'm learning to, really, yeah. Like anything else, you learn that it's a tool. You know, so I'm learning now how to use the tool in a way that's authentic for me. You know, but I think it's great, you know, to have it as an option and finding different interesting ways to incorporate it into how I naturally feel about the creative process.
And I also remember in the previous interview you did with us, you mentioned that you felt that current mainstream music was a little bit maybe empty or materialistic. So has your opinion about that changed now that they're maybe with people like Kendrick Lamar and that? How do you see current music?
I see it making a shift now, because I think I wasn't the only one that was feeling that way. You know, you can only go so long without substance or something soulful to really touch you. You know, because let's be honest, we all got into music because we love it and how it makes us feel. So I think everyone is beginning to find, you know, a way to get back to the substance and the more meaningful, you know, music that really touches you on a deeper level. And I think the times are the times are driving that, dictating that. People are just naturally answering a deeper calling within themselves to offer, something else besides, something that's really superficial.
Mm-hmm. No. I was thinking when you kind of went away after the Headphone Masterpiece, when you moved back, what was your feeling about the music industry at that point?
What was my feeling about the industry at the time?
Did you like it, or was it something?
Yeah, it was. I don't really think it was about the industry at that point. Okay. At that point in time, I think it was just really about me getting back to a place where I was a bit more clear and didn't have so much noise in my head. Right. If the industry can be anything, it can be quite noisy.
Sure.
So at that point in time, it was really about, okay, well, I've been out here, I've seen all the things that the industry has to offer. Because a lot of the time was early on, before I had that exposure, it was like, okay, well, let me peek behind the curtain, what's really happening. I want to see what's on the other side. So once you see what's going on, then you're like, okay, this is what it is. And so I just wanted to get back to just a clearer space, And I'd come to understand that the industry is what it is. I mean, it's its own machine, So I had to go in and regroup and find out what the music was going to be, or what the work was going to be, and then figure out how I was going to work within the machine, or what I was going to share with that facet of the process.
So are there now, since you've kind of came back in 2012 with the album, have you changed certain, or are you protecting yourself from the noise, so to speak?
Well, I just have a better sense of self, more centered, so that protects me from not just the noise of the industry, but just the clutter, the noise, and that can, that happens in life in general. And I try to be as centered and grounded as I can, so that my judgment is what it should be.
And then, well, can I assume then this is for you rooted in spirituality?
For me, that is the foundation of it all.
So then we finally arrive at the album title, My Love, a Divine Degree. Right. When did that kind of pop up?
That came from a book I was reading. The book was entitled The Aquarian Gospels of Jesus the Christ. Okay. A friend of mine gave me this book years ago about different accounts of him traveling throughout the world, meeting with other philosophers and masterminds and other sages, And in short, he was in Egypt studying in the halls of mysteries and going for different degrees. And so Love Divine was, I think, the 6th degree before the degree of the Christ. And it was amazing to see that part of the process, which in essence was just the love that transcends all, that wins the heart. This is one of the quotes from the book, that wins the hearts of men and women to better things. That kind of love that allows us to rise above selfishness and extend ourselves, to the next human being, So that's where it came from.
I think my time's up, so thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.